Okay, glad I had this question because just because Taylor Swift came out super racist doesn't mean that Swifties is a cult. A cult is still a group that manipulates you and exploits you in order to take your labor. Swiftie is an identity, one that I'm currently taking off because of said racism. However, I've written about it in my book, so let me read that to you. The explanation, because it's the same as being a Christian, by the way. Short answer, which I also have very little respect for, as the way that Swiftie is going, right? So, fandoms are one of the clearest illustrations of collective energy that could tip in either direction. If you've ever screamed the bridge to your favorite song with a stadium full of strangers, you know the power. The rituals, the hashtags, the shared language that only makes sense to us. It feels like home. But that intimacy can quickly shift into conformity. Suddenly, there's a right and wrong ways to be a fan, a hierarchy of who's real, an expectation of loyalty that leaves no room for critique. Research has shown that high levels of celebrity worship are associated with obsessive behavior, fantasy proneness, and attachment-related traits. Psychological dynamics that can lead to a blurring of personal identity with that of the admired celebrity, sometimes described as identity merging. Parasocial relationships, those one-sided bonds with people who don't know you exist, aren't inherently harmful, but they can blur boundaries, become obsessive, or be exploited by brands, influencers, or cultish figures to sell products or ideologies. These ties can even influence financial decision. Recent research shows that emotional resonance with internet celebrities can drive impulse buying. But here's the thing, you can be a Swiftie and not be in a cult, because Swiftie is an identity, not a group. The E's and the isms are never the problem. Mormonism is a bonkers ideology, but it's not a cult. The Mormon Church is absolutely one of the most harmful cults in the world. It's a cultural affiliation, a personal label, a way of saying these songs meant something to me. Past tense. There's nothing inherently manipulative about loving music or even building your whole personality around it. The difference is the same one I always give when people ask, what's the line between a religion and a cult? A religion is an idea, a belief system, a worldview. A cult is a group. Groups can certainly be powered by ideas and belief systems. Cults give you worldviews, but ideas, like identities on their own, aren't cults. And you can be a Christian, a Muslim, or a Buddhist all by yourself. It's the same with fandom. You can be a Swiftie in solitude, a quiet appreciator of lyrics that once held your teenage heart together. You can even have a Swiftian worldview. I sometimes joke that I was knocked off my horse on the road to Damascus by the song Tim McGraw and converted to Swiftianity. None of that makes it a cult. A cult is a group that exerts power over its members in specific, measurable ways. And it must be a group to start with. No group, no cult. That's the key distinction. Identity, even fervent identity, isn't dangerous on its own. When identity gets absorbed into a controlling system, things get, well, culty. But there is some truly concerning behavior in the Swiftie universe. Obsessive online sleuthing, full-scale doxing of critics, refusal to tolerate any hints of nuance or dissent, digital dogpiling that turns an offhand comment into a days-long character assassination campaign. And now, refusal to listen to Black people about the fact that her lyrics are very dog-whistly white supremacist. And then there's the monetization, the multiple album variants with one different Polaroid or bonus track, the merch drops, the parasocial intimacy wrapped in capitalist brilliance. It can all feel intense, cult adjacent even. But intensity alone doesn't make a cult. Neither does passion. What matters is the presence of a group exerting control. If Swifties ever start requiring loyalty pledges, cutting people off from their families, or punishing them from listening to Olivia Rodrigo, then we'll talk. Until then, it's a fandom. Maybe a very committed one. Maybe a little unhinged. But not a cult. Not yet, anyway. Identity isn't a cult. What makes something a cult is the level of control and harm it causes. Fandom isn't a problem, unless people within it are acting abusively. The same goes for identity and affinity groups. Whether it's a choice like political affiliation or a niche hobby interest, or something you're born with, like race, sexual or gender identity, or neurodivergence. I am a fiber artist. That is not a cult. Are there fiber arts cults? Almost certainly. Affinity groups based on shared identities support individual expression and empower their members. They allow disagreement and evolution. Cults, by contrast, demand conformity, suppress dissent, and often punish departure with emotional, social, or financial consequences. Understanding this distinction is vital. When we conflate interest or identity-based communities with cults, we risk undermining the value of genuine connection. And worse, we risk demonizing a whole group of people. You can get pre-orders of Culting of America at the link in the bio, or attached here if you're not watching this on TikTok.